G'day friends, welcome to day 8 of Mermay 2024. My name is James, welcome back to my channel, welcome if you're new. Today, I please hope if you're not new, like, none of that makes sense. If you're new, please go watch something else. Today's gonna be so quick, maybe about 10 minutes. I'm just gonna chat to you as the sun sets. I have come back from work. I just had dinner as well, so I'm just feeling a little sleepy. I've been out in the sun for a lot of today. I had a reevaluation. So I don't know if I spoke to you about this before, but at one of my jobs that I do at Disneyland, I dance in the parade department, and every year we get a chance to go to these reevaluations, which is just kind of an opportunity to go and it's like an audition, but I mean, you're not really getting fired from anything. It's a weird way to put it. It's an audition to see if your skills have grown or if you just feel like you want to put yourself out there for new opportunities. That's what it is. But it's completely optional. And I like to go. I honestly like to go to everything just because I always like to feel like I've done all I can do. Like if I put myself out there as much as possible, then I don't feel like I've, lost any opportunities that might, pass me by. And so I went today. It was my day off and I've had I think 2 days rest. So it was like the third day of rest. So my body was actually feeling kind of okay. It was a little sore, but I got all stretched and I did the first part, which they kind of broke it down into, one routine and then a routine that was a little bit more advanced with some more technique in it. So I feel like I've been dancing for hours today because I have. And it really took it out of me. Like, pardon me. The thing about an audition is like you want to learn, for me anyway, when I go in, I want to learn it really well and be able to perform it instantly. Like I don't want to leave feeling like I just did it as though I just learned it. I want to leave feeling like I could have done that on a stage, which is really hard because it's, usually we get weeks and weeks and weeks to practice things before we end up performing them in front of guests. When we're younger, like when I was 13, 14, we would work on a routine for like 6 months to a year before we'd perform it at our end of year concerts. If you were in a competition group, you might have learned it in, 3 or 4 months, and then you'd start doing it at competitions. But you get a long time to learn things when you're younger. And then when you become a professional, it all depends on what job you do. But straight out of high school, I went to Tokyo Disneyland, and the show that I was in there, we had like over a month of rehearsals. And they were all kind of very spread out, but I had tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of rehearsals, maybe a month and a half, really. It just seemed like we were in rehearsals forever before we actually got to perform for audiences. By the time you perform it for an audience, it's just, it looks pristine, it looks amazing. You've had all that rehearsal. But then I went to Royal Caribbean, and then each show we did on Royal Caribbean, we got 2 weeks. And the first show I went and learnt there was a show called Invitation to Dance, which was a ballroom show, and I had never done ballroom before that. So that was where I felt like I had the first experience of like, you have to learn this, and you have to be good at doing it in 2 weeks. Like that's it. That's all you get. Then you're going to be in front of guests on a cruise ship the next time you do it. So all jobs are kind of different. I did have one teacher when I was younger, or like 16, 17, 18, 15, 16, 17, who would used to just teach us a lot of choreography, just for the class. And then we would just kind of move on from that, and who taught us to pick things up really quickly and always taught us to focus on the way that a choreographer would do certain things and really hone in on that, because essentially the choreographer makes up the routine, and if they're teaching it to you, they want you to do it the way that they do it. So you should really key into all of the very specific movements that they do. I always think of this thing, like, and it's funny that I say key in, because there was a hand that she used to do that almost looked like you were turning a key in a car door. And so I would pick up on all these things and think that's what you've got to do. And I have to say, all of this advice really served me well for, all the better parts of my first chunk of my career as a dancer. And then even now, I still feel like I use all these things to think about. But yeah, you learn it pretty quickly. And then in an audition, I mean, you only have that hour or two that you're there, to get it right. And to perform it for people who are literally judging whether they want to give you the opportunity or not. So you kind of got to be able to perform it instantly. And I think I auditioned pretty well, but in order to be able to pick up the choreography really quickly, I usually have to do it full out, which means like with all the energy I'm going to perform it with. There's a police helicopter out there, I swear. They're going to start making those announcements over there. Sometimes they make the announcements from the air. It's crazy how clear they can sound coming all the way from up in the sky. But I feel like one of my like lucky skills I have is that I can pick it up pretty quickly, but I do have to do it full out with lots of energy. And so when you're doing that over and over and over and over again, you tend to exhaust yourself a lot more than if you're just learning something over 2 weeks even, or like, you know, even if I had a few days to learn something before I actually had to perform it properly. So my body's kind of conditioned to do it now, and like, you know, thankfully I'm in a lot better shape than I was, you know, even last year. So I feel like it all went really well, and I'm very happy. I think I always want to come away feeling like I've done everything I could do and that I did my best, and, you know, I'm happy with it. And I can honestly say that today. I'm exhausted, but I feel like I did exactly what I hoped I would do, and I'm very proud of myself. So I'll give myself a little pat on the back for that. And afterwards, I just went and watched the parade at Disney's California Adventure. It was fun to see a lot of friends there. I went to have a coffee after that, and I did take my Mermay journal with me because I figured I might just have some spare time to work on stuff, but realistically I just got on my phone and was just texting all my friends for like an hour and a half until Steve rolled through and picked me up. He went to the beach and had a lovely day. So yeah, we were both just kind of knackered from, well, Steve from the sun and me from dancing, which is funny because I think like I've danced for so much longer than that. And like, you know, on days where we do parades and you're out in the sun for, you know, however long it takes to get from point A to point B, and it's so much energy, like that is actually exhausting. Sometimes I think these reevals and these auditions shouldn't be exhausting because they don't last for long, but it's just a different kind of experience where you're just putting in so much energy up front and then so much performance, and you have to do it over and over and over again. And typically now with auditions, there are a lot smaller groups. So back in the day, there used to be hundreds of people that would turn up. This is a reeval, like a reevaluation, so it's not really an audition per se, because it's really just for people who are already employed. Sirens. But there weren't tons of people there, so you get to go in smaller groups, which means you just kind of run it more often. Again, you're getting in that repetition, but it is also a little bit exhausting. And then when you do it in groups of 5, you don't even just do it once, you do it twice. They'll have you set up, you know, like 2 in the front, 3 at the back, and then you'll do it once, and then they'll switch lines. They'll put those 3 at the back, they'll go to the front, the 2 at the front will go to the back, and you do it all over again. That, I think, is the hardest part, because usually you do it the first time, you're so exhausted because you've just put everything into it, and then they give you like 5 seconds to reset, and then you do it again. So I always kind of pace myself a little bit if it's going to be too hard to go back to back. One audition I was at once, I felt like I was going to die after the first time, and I genuinely didn't know how I got through the second one. But that seems to be more typical how they all run now. And yeah, it was great. Like I said, it's not a mandatory thing, so people don't have to go to it. I chose to go to it because, I don't know, I think I spent so many years watching opportunities, you know, come and go, and I always just felt like, you know, my goal was always focusing on giving myself the best chance I could to have those opportunities. And at this point, if you're not showing up, then it's not for you. So this is what I tell myself in my brain, which is not necessarily true. I think people will still have their opportunities even if they don't go to their reevals, but I never like to take that chance, or I never like to give my brain an opportunity to think those things, because then I'll just sit here and if I miss out on something, I'll say, it's because I didn't go, I should have gone. So anyway, I went. And sometimes I do like the rush of kind of auditioning. It's a lot of adrenaline, it's a lot of excitement, and I love to dance anyway, I love to perform, so it's kind of like a guaranteed audience for the afternoon. Albeit like a very stressful audience because they're literally picking you apart, but that's okay too. I feel like I'm used to that. I pick myself apart. I don't think they could possibly pick me apart more than I do my own performances. All in an effort to get better though. I love watching videos and seeing photos of things that we've done, and I'll always see a video and then I'll be like, oh, I'm going to change that, or I need to change how I do that so it looks a bit better. I feel like, you know, always kind of reevaluating myself anyway, so this all feels very natural. I'm right back in it. I'm telling you all my dance stories as they're happening. They're not just old things that have happened before. These are literally things currently happening. I love it. So this is my mermaid piece for today. Just a quick pencil sketch. I based off of a piece that I did for Daisy Ween. I actually prefer the Daisy Ween piece better. I think it's a better mermaid look than the one I ended up drawing, but I gave it a go. And since I did this, I've put a sticker on her hair. Some of the pieces I've done, I've run through the book and just put stickers everywhere, so that's fun. Some of them are fully transformed. I think even that one that I did yesterday, no, not yesterday, 2 days ago, yeah, she's got a whole bunch of shell and fish and flower stickers all over her hair like a big crown. So as you see, I flip through the journal each day before we start. You'll see one day I just went mad with the stickers and they ended up on some of the mermaids. And I love it. That's what I love about this journal and how in process it all is. It just keeps going and going. And it keeps changing. And it's still keeping on changing because I'm still currently in it. I think I'm up to day 26. So I've got about 5 days left of filming 5 mermaids left, and then I'll have done the challenge and I'll work on getting these videos out to you. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. I'll see you again tomorrow for another mermaid. I'll be also dancing tomorrow, so I'll try and get up earlier for you in the day. I'll try as best as I can. I'll probably be around 4 o'clock to be honest, but we'll see what happens. Until then, have a great night. Bye.